got a few more of my parts in the mail now. So today we're gonna try installing the Perfex 2-inch lift kit that I ordered. This is what comes in the kit here. Just a simple, cheap, inexpensive bracket lift. We're gonna put that on the Renegade, and then I can see what kind of tires I wanna go with and how big I can get away with. So this kit was like $300 Canadian, I think, all said and done, shipped. Pretty cheap upgrade. So we're gonna get this put on and I'll give you my thoughts and a little review of it, and hopefully it works out. Step one, jack it up, take your tires off. 15 mil socket, just remove your top shock bolts. Okay, once you got the bolt out, just pop the shock out of the way. Okay, got one side done here. So all it is this one big cross member, goes all the way across the front side of your shock bracket here. The other little piece they send with it goes on the back side. And then you have a spacer in between here. And the bottom of the bracket mounts to the frame here. And you're just relocating your shocks, the top mount of your shock. I'll show you better on the other side here. I don't have the shock in yet. So you got your spacer in there, your two brackets, and all you got to do just remount your shock with the new bolt, and pretty simple. The only thing I found here with the Renegade anyways, I'm not sure where the ECM is on the Outlanders. This little bracket here goes here like this and mounts your computer. It was using both these bolts, but then your bracket doesn't sit flush on here. So all I'm gonna do is just cut this top bolt out of here. We'll use the bottom one, and that should be plenty strong still. It'll secure that. Okay, there you go. That's all I did. Just notched out the top hole there. Put that mount back on. Everything's good to go there. We'll put this shock back on. There, the front is done. You can definitely see that sitting higher. Now these tires look tiny. All in all, I think the front took 40 minutes. That was super easy. Everything fit great. I'm pretty happy so far. I know the back has a few more pages on the instructions. You got to do a little bit of modification on the bumper brackets and stuff, so and you got to put spacers in your back axles. But front, super easy. You can clearly see that sitting way higher in the front now. Okay, let's see how the back goes. So when it comes to the back, this is the point you got to get to. Back plastic off, control arms out. The only reason I took axles out is because I got to replace leaking axle seals anyways. Now you can start putting brackets in. I'll show you once I got those mocked up. And in the instructions they tell you need to trim this piece here, because now your control arm or your rear trailing arm is going to come down further, and this is where it's going to hit. You got to cut about a ½ an inch out of here on both sides. And then there's some modification you got to make here on the bumper. I'll get to that part yet. Okay, I got my new axle seals in, put the axles back in. Now before you start putting everything back together, the kit comes with these spacers. So these just go on the end of your axle before you put your hubs and control arms back on. When you're putting your new control arms back in, the kit comes with new stabilizer bar brackets. So those go there. So that's the next step of putting this back together here. So I'm gonna start throwing everything back in. This bolt is all ready. When I say go, then just start trying to tap it in, okay? But don't do anything yet until I have this perfectly lined up here.
I think you need to get perfectly lined up.
I need to put this big contraption back together now. Okay, go. You go again. Okay, keep going, keep going. You got it, man. Let's see. Yeah. When I say go, pull the trigger until it's nice and tight. Go!
Yes, lift off.
Okay, keep going. Okay, so you got your new shackles in here. You're probably going to need a hand putting your controller or trailing arms back in and getting this all lined up. And there's little spacers in between here. Make sure those didn't fall out when you put this ball back together. Axles back in with a spacer in between here. So now you'll use your original washer, and they send a thinner nut width so that you can still get a cotter pin through. Pretty much the back suspension's all back together. All pretty easy, straightforward. Now we're gonna put the new shock mounts in. So we'll get to that. The other one has to go on the back side. So where your back bumper mounts right here, undo this screw, and you just gotta cut a notch in here on both these brackets, big enough to get that plate against this back here. And obviously just take your wire off here. That's what we gotta do now. Your back brackets, one goes on either side of this channel, not on the inside. So once you have these brackets notched out here, this can go on the back. This one, you just gotta pry your battery box back a little bit, this plastic. Slide this in there. The big spacer goes in between here, and bolt your brackets on, and then mount your shock with the new bolts and the small spacer here. We're so close. Okay, that's how it's supposed to look. Bracket outside, big spacer on the inside bolt, one little spacer on each side, one on either side of the shock. Bolt your shocks back on, your lift's done. Plastics on, wheels on, put it back together. Yeah, let's go. I got my helper now. All right, looks like this Renegade's been skipping leg day. got 2 inches of lift on here now. Now we need some tires to fill in that big space there. I think with some footwells, well, all in all, perfect. I'm pretty happy with the product. It was cheap. Installation went good. I had 3 hours in the garage here. I'm pretty happy. Let me know what you think.